Surya Namaskar A, B, and C tonight. More traditional, we'll add a few little things here and there to make it interesting, to mix it up. I'd like you to have any props that you normally use for your practice. So there aren't any specific props that I'm going to require, but as always, if a blanket or towel helps you to sit upright or supports your knees, or a couple of blocks are handy for standing poses, or also to help you step a foot forward from downward facing dog perhaps. So just putting that out there. Straps, belts, towels, things like that are also handy if you like to use them. I thought we'd begin in a child's pose this evening. So I'm going to go to my mat and take child's pose to start. If there's any other way you'd like to begin class, if you prefer to start on your back or seated, obviously you're welcome to take any position you'd like. If you are joining me in child's pose, make it comfortable for your body. So if child pose isn't the most easy pose to get into, especially at the beginning of a class, place whatever props you have handy, perhaps a blanket, a towel, even a bolster between your seat and the backs of your calves and ankles. And then you can take your knees as wide as you'd like. So some prefer them very wide so that you can just kind of hang forward. Others like to keep them a little closer so it feels like you can kind of round into the tops of the thighs. So you can play around with that, whatever works. And then as always, arms can be extended straight forward, or you can begin with your arms back by your sides. And then if the forehead is not easily reaching the ground, you can rest it on a block or blanket, anything that will help to allow you to feel a little more settled. So we'll be here for maybe not even a minute or so, just to begin with our bodies in a nice calm position in child's pose. So as you settle in, begin to notice your breath, especially if you are in child's pose. Notice how you can breathe a little bit more into the back body. With a little bit more awareness, you can fill up the space into the back ribs a bit more and feel that breath kind of moving all the way across from the lower back towards the neck, cervical spine, and all the way back down. It also allows us to feel perhaps a little broader as the breath opens up and expands into the side body so that it allows you to perhaps create a little bit more space in those areas. So just taking a few more breaths here as you are, just focusing on a nice smooth, steady inhale and a nice full, complete exhale. And then when you are ready, slowly bring yourself upright. You're going to make your way onto all fours, starting in a tabletop position. So a nice even tabletop to start so that your knees are right underneath your hips. Knees are hips distance and your hands are placed so that your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, hands shoulder distance width, of course. And then notice your back body for now. Have your back completely flat and long. So you're not dipping too much in the lumbar spine and you're not rounding into the upper back. So we're going to keep this long back body, this nice flat back for a moment. And then you're going to step your right foot back, coming onto the ball of the foot, sealing it. And then extending your opposite left arm straight forward out in front of you, reaching all the way through the fingertips. And then keeping the flat back, press into your bottom right hand and start to raise the right foot off of the mat until the heel comes to hip height and you're lengthening through the heel and pressing the heel all the way back behind you. Take another inhale. And then on your exhale, make your way back down to your tabletop. And then take the other side, stepping the left foot back, coming onto the ball of the foot, keeping that sealed for now. Leg as straight as the right arm stretches straight forward. So opposite arm and leg. And then just a little bit of engagement of the core here so that you don't start to feel the back body sagging. You're keeping the spine long, just lifting the belly towards you. And then without changing anything, just float the back foot up off the mat and really work to lengthen through that heel. Send it all the way behind you as the right arm reaches further out in front of you. Take one more inhale on this side. And then lower to hands and knees on the exhale. Keep the knees where they are. Walk the hands a handprint further forward, keeping the hands shoulder distance width. Tuck your toes, keeping the arms straight, lift the knees, press the hips back to downward facing dog. And then try to resist the urge for now to pedal the feet. I know you want to pedal the feet, we always do. We're gonna start with a still down dog. So start by having the knees a little bit bent, or if your hamstrings are tighter and your body is not quite warm enough yet, bend the knees even more so that you can really push the hips back. Start to focus on where you're pushing into the hands. Try to not roll to the outer edges of the hands. You want to press to the base of all 10 fingers, focusing on the base of the thumb and index finger especially. And then with the arms really strong and straight, try to allow the tricep muscles, the outer upper arms, to scoop inward or down towards the mat instead of flaring out towards the sides. And then go ahead and take the knees down. Walk your hands back so that your wrists are under your shoulders, back to an even tabletop, uncurl the toes. Now let's start to move a bit cat and cow. Heart forward, inhale, exhale as you press into the hands, really rounding the back body now. Take that a few times. So starting to let your body move a bit more now and starting to connect your breath with your movement. So especially as we move through the class into these sun salutations, it's very important to allow your breath to be your guide. So usually we'll say one breath per movement, but notice if you need to kind of slow the pace down or speed it up to connect with your breath. So as I call out the poses and the flow, just note if you need to take a slightly different pace than what I am offering. And a few more rounds of cat and cow. Also keep in mind you can return to that child's pose we did in the beginning of class at any time you need to take a break. All right, now settle back into a neutral spine. Step your hands, that handprint further forward once again, spreading through the fingers. Curl your toes, lift your knees up. Now go ahead and pedal the feet. So keeping the same work we talked about in the arms and the upper body, letting the legs move around a bit for now. And then now go ahead and let the pedaling cease. So the legs stay a little bit more still. You can still keep the bend in the knees if needed. Working to get the heels a little further back behind you. And working to really engage the thigh muscles, the quadriceps. The tops of the thighs are really firmly pushing back into the thigh bones. From your downward facing dog, start to look forward. Now shift your body forward into a plank pose. So that looks like you're about to do a push-up, but pause here. Make sure your shoulders come right above your wrists. You can always wiggle the feet a little further back if needed. We're gonna hold this for 5 breaths. If you need to modify your plank, simply take the knees down. Continue breathing, whether knees are up or down. Keep the arms firm, pressing the shoulder blades onto the back. So you feel that back body engaged as well as the front body that's trying to lift up away from the mat. Now start to bring the gaze forward, looking past your mat, shift forward, shoulders move past the wrists. Knees up or down, you choose. Chaturanga, elbows bend straight back, keep them close to your sides as you take your chaturanga to the mat, all the way down. Stretch the toes back behind you. Tops of the feet stay glued. Push the hands down, drag them back a bit as you pull the chest forward and up away from the mat, low cobra. Then exhale back down. Take that again. Inhale, draw the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lower down again. Then go ahead and stretch your arms forward for now. So you're reaching your arms straight out in front of you. And then you're going to lengthen through your left leg and your right arm so much that they float a couple of inches off of the ground. And then you're going to lower that down and take the other side. So work to lengthen away from the back body as you stretch opposite arm and leg. So maybe just 2 or 3 inches. Don't worry about getting so high. Exhale, lower down. Do that with the breath. Inhale, first side again, stretch it out before you lift. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lengthen, reach in both directions. Exhale, down again. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, lower down. Once more, inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Keep the feet down. Slide the hands back by your rib cage. Wrists under elbows. Keep the elbows hugged in. Push into the hands. Inhale either to cobra again or press to straighten the arms, maybe up dog. If up dog is too much, you can take the knees down or just stay low with cobra. On your next exhale from your back bend, return to down dog. Flip over the feet if you're in up dog or press to hands and knees. From a tabletop, lift the knees, return to down dog. All right, walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet. Come to a forward fold with the back of your mat so that the feet are hips distance and parallel. Maybe clasp your elbows and just hang forward. You can always gently nod the head or sway if you'd like. Taking this forward fold just to allow the upper body to release over the legs. And then let your arms hang down. Place your hands onto your shins. Stretch your upper body halfway forward so that you have a flat back. Take the rounding out if you need to by bending the knees a bit, and then stretch the chest further forward, draw the shoulders back. Notice where the weight is in the feet. So this is Ardha Uttanasana. If the weight's all the way back in the heels, try to shift more into the balls of the feet so that you feel the legs working more. So you feel the kneecaps lift and the quadriceps draw up towards the hips. On your exhale, release back down. Take that 2 more times. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana with the breath. Exhale, fold back down to Uttanasana. Inhale again, stretch halfway forward, long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold down again. Now, stretch the arms out wide. With the flat back, lead with the heart, press to stand. Stand tall as you raise the arms to the ceiling. Stay tall as you draw the hands down to the heart, gazing forward. All right, let's make our way to the top of the mat. So we're going to start with our first sun salutations, Surya Namaskar A. So Surya Namaskar basically means sun salutation. Surya is sun. Namaskar is salute or greeting. So we're going to greet the sun today in various forms. Stand with your feet parallel, hips distance. Take your hands to your heart. Stand tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. So you feel the feet press evenly. You feel the crown of the head reach up. And then release the hands. Circle the arms wide, reach all the way up, maybe let the gaze follow. On the exhale, hinge at the hips, arms go back out as you fold all the way into Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up, placing the hands onto the shins so you find your long spine. From there, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. So pause in your plank. Now, look forward. Shift your shoulders past your wrists, really, really lean. Then, chaturanga all the way down once again. Uncurl the toes. Push into the hands, inhale, come into cobra, or straighten the arms to upward facing dog. On your exhale, flip over the feet, or press to hands and knees first, then pull back to downward facing dog. Taking 3 long inhales and exhales in your down dog. So paying attention to not only the form today, but your breath. And the transitions between poses are just as important as the poses themselves. So looking between the hands, maybe just walk the feet forward, maybe raise the heels, bend the knees, do a hop or even a step, and then another step to all the way to the front. Then inhale, come up halfway, long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, arms out, press to stand, stretch it all the way overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. All right, so we're going to take 2 more rounds of Surya Namaskar A. And note too, there's a way to get into it where you don't step to plank, but you jump back. If you are choosing that, you're jumping straight into Chaturanga, not into plank. So the elbows will bend straight back if that's your practice. If not, stepping back is completely fine as well. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up, stand tall, look up. Exhale, forward fold, come all the way down. Inhale, stretch up halfway, flat back. Bending the knees, hands to the mat, step it back or jump it back from plank. Chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhale, maybe go all the way down, maybe halfway, and then you hover right into upward facing dog. On the exhale, pull the hips back, return to Adho Mukha Svanasana, taking 3 long, smooth breaths. Keeping the arms straight, look forward when you're ready, raise the heels, bend the knees. So maybe you hop it up, maybe you step, or just walk forward. Once you're there, inhale halfway, Ardha. Exhale, folding down. Arms out, inhale, ride the breath to stand, reach nice and high. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take it again, inhale, Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar. Exhale, folding forward. Moving with your breath, rise halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step or lightly float it back, Chaturanga. Then inhale right into your back bend, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, pull right back, Downward Facing Dog. Once again, 3 breaths. Work the upper and lower body in your down dog to hold you in the pose so that your arms and legs and your core are all engaged. And then when you're ready to return to the front of the mat, on the breath, exhaling, walk, step, or float to the front. Halfway inhale, fold on the exhale. Arms out, inhale to stand, stretch it up to the ceiling, and then exhale the hands to the heart. All right, so keeping in mind, vinyasas may become a little tiring for some if you don't practice them that often. So if you need to skip things here and there, modify as we move through our other sun salutes, feel free to skip a flow now and then. All right, let's stand with our feet all the way together. So we're going to move slowly now through Surya Namaskar B. So we're going to break it down a bit and then maybe take 1 breath per movement. So start with your feet together, parallel. So there's a little space between the heels, but the sides of the big toes are touching. And then bending your knees, do this for me. Lean over the thighs for a moment and see if you can maybe touch the fingertips to the ground or to blocks. Then sink the hips even lower. Now, without taking the hands up yet, try to lift the belly off of the thighs. So you're scooping out the front body so that you feel like you're almost tucking your tailbone underneath and lifting the front hip points up. Then take the fingertips off the ground, keep the arms straight, stretch them forward. Now without arching the lower back, keep the hips low, begin to raise the arms up higher so that their maybe hands are above the shoulders. Maybe they just stay there, maybe they go even higher. Shoulder blades draw onto the back, triceps scoop inward. Take another inhale and chair. Now on your exhale, release, take a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana, touching the shins, flat back. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Here's where vinyasas become optional. Step back to plank or jump through Chaturanga. If you're skipping, you're going straight to Downward Facing Dog. All right, once you are in Downward Facing Dog, so traditionally, we don't raise the leg before we step it forward for Warrior One, but today we're going to work that a little bit just to get some clearance. Inhale, extend your right leg straight back behind you. Try to get a lot of lift as you maybe come onto the ball of your left foot to get the right leg even further toward the ceiling. Then start to shift forward, bend your right knee, pull it high into your chest. Round like you would for cat's breath, and then see if you can slip it all the way between the hands. If it doesn't make it there, take the back knee down or wiggle the front foot forward, give it a boost. Maybe take hands to blocks to help you get a little more height. Once the right foot is between the hands, spin the back left foot down 45 degrees. And then set up heel to heel, at least for now. On the inhale, rise up to stand, raise your arms to the ceiling, upper body facing forward. Take a moment, bring your hands to your hips. If heel to heel is too narrow of a stance, walk your right foot to the right a little bit so that you're hip to hip, you have more space. You can always take that modification for warrior one. You can also shorten the stance a bit if you feel like you're just leaning forward and can't get the upper body upright enough. So you're gonna press your back heel a lot. Taking the hands on the hips, try to get the hips to face the front of your mat a little bit more and to lift up away from the ground a little bit more. Almost like you had to do that same action we talked about in chair pose, a little bit of a tucking under, which you definitely won't be able to do with the back foot seal. But it's a similar action. The frontal hip points lift up. Then pull the belly back so navel draws to spine. Square the chest a little further forward. Keeping weight on the back heel, bend your right knee further forward. And then extend your left arm forward and then up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the upper body, raise the right arm up to meet it. You can look forward. You can start to look up between the hands. Hands can stay wider if the shoulders are a little tighter, or you can start to work the hands maybe to touch. You can always angle them forward if straight up is not working for your shoulders and it compresses and shortens the neck. Take another inhale. On your exhale, leaning forward, release your hands to the mat. Lift your back heel so you're in a high lunge. And then if you're not skipping vinyasas, you're going to step your right foot back to plank. Then shift forward as you look ahead. Chaturanga on the exhale. Remember, knees can come down if needed. Inhale, up dog, unless you're staying low with cobra. And then exhale, downward facing. So this first time we're breaking it down, we're going slow. Holding it a little bit longer can be more challenging at times. On your inhale, left leg extends all the way back. And then take a moment to get a lot of lift. Lift off of your right heel and send your left leg higher. Then keep that lift away from the ground as you shift forward. Bend the knee in, round the back, engage the core, then step it up. You maybe need a little extra time to get it there. If so, that's fine. When it's there, settle the back heel down, either heel to heel, or if you need more space, take it hip to hip. On your inhale, lift upright, come into warrior one. Then just as we did on the other side, refine it a bit, bring the hands to the hips, and try to feel your hips can square forward a bit more. So by taking this outer right hip and just encouraging it to wrap forward, so this entire leg almost spins inward so that the inner thigh rolls back at the same time. And then as you bend your left knee forward, you're hugging the left hip in and back. And then you're breathing, paying attention to what the upper body is doing so you're not arching the lower back or leaning over the front thigh. And then reach your opposite right arm forward. So left knee bending forward, right arm reaching, but upper body lifting. Stretch it up towards the ceiling. Shoulders down the back. Left arm goes along for the ride. And then decide if you want your arms straight overhead or angled forward. Decide if you're going to keep your hands further apart or maybe work them together today. If looking up is too much strain for the neck, look forwards. Move the shoulder blades down the back. Take another inhale, bend your front knee a little further. And then exhale, release it. Take the hands down. Come into a high lunge. From there, step back to plank. Look forward, shift. Take chaturanga if you're flowing. Inhale into your back bend. On the exhale, return to down dog. Connecting with your breath. Looking between the hands. Lift the heels. Bend the knees. If you are hopping forward, move at the bottom of the exhale. Bring the feet forward to the hands. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, folding in. Make sure your feet come all the way together now, and then bending your knees, come right through chair pose. So lift the belly off of the thighs, keep the hips low, raise the arms high. Sit a little lower as you exhale. As you inhale, press to straighten the legs, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right. We're gonna move through Surya Namaskar B again. So keep in mind, maybe you're working the leg lifts to step the foot forward. Traditional does not lift the leg. So if you want to go traditional, you can do that as well to give yourself a challenge. So I'm going to have us speed up a bit. If it goes too fast, slow it down to your pace. Skip vinyasas if you need. Move with your breath. On your inhale, chair pose in Uttanasana, sit low. On the exhale, forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Bending the knees, hands to the mat, move through the vinyasa at your pace. When you're ready, inhale, maybe send the right leg back. On the exhale, you're gonna step that right foot all the way through. Set the back heel down, 45. Inhale, rise, one breath, Virabhadrasana 1. On the exhale, take the hands back down. Lift the back heel, step back to plank. Shift forward on the exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing. Inhale, maybe left leg goes back for length and height. Exhale, step that left foot through. Back foot 45, inhale, warrior 1 on the left. On the exhale, ride the breath back down. Step to plank, shift, look forward, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, pull back. Take 3 breaths. All right, look between the hands. On the bottom of the exhale, bring the feet to the hands. Walk, step, or float. Halfway heart forward, inhale, forward fold. With the feet together, bend the knees. Come through chair pose. Exhale, sit into that chair. Press to stand as you inhale, reach up. Hands to the heart as you exhale. All right, so let's pause for a moment. We'll work a little bit of balance here before we continue to flow. So keeping the feet together where they are, bring your hands to your hips. Let's work tree pose, bending your right knee. Fan it over to the right. Step the foot either to the calf or reach for the ankle and bring the foot to the inner thigh. So maybe I'll turn to face you. So if it's too difficult to get the foot to the inner thigh and you're stepping on the knee joint, keep the foot lower at the calf. Take your hands to your heart. Take a moment to settle into your breath. So work the balance by pressing all 4 corners of your bottom foot. And then maybe the hands stay at the heart, maybe they stay at the hips. Maybe you start to take the arms overhead. And then keeping the arms straight if you're doing that. So you can take the arms out wider, you can angle them forward, you're breathing. You're either looking straight forward at something to focus, or if you want the challenge, maybe you're slowly lifting the gaze up to the ceiling. So if that sounds appealing and accessible, go for it. If not, keep the gaze just straight out ahead of you. On the exhale, slowly take the arms down by your sides and step the right foot back down. Shake it out. Okay, feet together again, hands to hips. Unless you're taking this to the wall, you're always welcome to place a hand onto the wall for support. Left knee bends, and then knee opens to the side. So foot to calf muscle or foot to inner thigh. And then once it's there, you can keep the hands to the hips or take them to the heart. And then breathing, finding your fixed point, just gazing straight ahead. And then if you are taking the arms overhead, do so slowly. And then notice if the arms go up, if the shoulders start to creep up as well. So work to draw those shoulder blades back down onto the back instead of up toward the ears. And then continue breathing. Maybe look forward, maybe start to lift the gaze. Work to root into your bottom standing foot and then feel like you're getting a little taller, lifting up away from that bottom foot as you raise everything up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, exhale, slowly take your arms down, step it back onto the mat. Okay, staying at the top of your mat, we're going to work through, we're going to add some external poses. So we're going to transition from warrior 1 to warrior 2 in this round. So starting with the feet together, bending the knees, inhale, moving with the breath, return to chair pose. On the exhale, fold forward as the legs straighten, bowing down. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Working through the vinyasa or skipping it if you're skipping it. Chaturanga as you exhale, nice 9-degree arms. Inhaling straight arms if you're doing up dog. Exhale, pressing back, thighs engaged, downward facing. Inhale, right leg goes back. On the exhale, work it through, step it forward, back foot down. Heel to heel or hip to hip. Inhale, come up through Virabhadrasana 1 again. Now, to transition from 1 to 2, take the hands to the heart. Keeping your right knee tracking forward, walk your right foot to the left a couple of inches so that the heel aligns with the arch of the back foot, and then simply turn the torso to the side. And then stretch the arms out. So to go from 1 to 2, there may be a little kind of maneuvering with the length of the stance. So if you have a shorter warrior 1 stance, you'll probably need to extend your warrior 2 by maybe wiggling the front toes forward or sending the back heel further back. Back foot is still 45, right knee is still tracking over the toes. Now the upper body is turned to the side instead of forward over the front bent knee. And then take a few breaths here. See if you can relax the shoulders down the back, but stretch the arms further apart from one another. And then notice, if you look down at your right knee, it shouldn't be covering your big toe. You should be able to see the big toe. It should be tracking over the second and third toe. And ideally, bending enough that the knee goes right on top of the ankle. So you're not back here, and it doesn't go past the ankle if your stance is too short. And take another inhale here. On the exhale, take your hands all the way down on either side of your right foot. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. Step back to plank pose. If you're moving through the vinyasa, shift, chaturanga. Upward facing as you inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, thighs press back, hips pull back to down dog. Once you're in downward facing dog, inhale, send the left leg all the way back. On the exhale, draw the knee into the chest. So really engage the core to step the foot up. So it may still need a little boost. Take the back foot 45, heel to heel or hip to hip. Inhale right up into warrior 1 first. So from a neutral pose, take the hands down to the heart. Then adjust your front foot. Walk it in so it's a bit more centered on your mat. And then it aligns with the arch of the back foot, but the knee doesn't waver in. As the upper body squares toward the right, the knee stays tracking over the toes. So take a little glance down, make sure that's the case. Widen the stance if you need to. And then when you're ready, send the arms open wide. Try to get both wrists the same height away from the ground. So usually the front hand tends to be a little higher than the back one. So maybe lift the back one up a little bit. And then really reach across. Notice what the torso is doing this time. If you feel like you're tipping over the front side, reach your right arm a little further behind you to even out the trunk of the body. If you feel like you're twisting toward the front thigh,
See if you can really get the torso to square toward the side. So your upper body is neutral. And then you're gazing forward. Maybe just past the middle finger of your front left hand. Notice if you're working your left thigh a lot, probably. Try to work your back leg a bit more. Really dig the heel into the back of the mat and then firm this back right thigh muscle. Press it back into the thigh bone. Take another inhale in warrior two. And then exhale, float the hands all the way down. Make your way from that high lunge to down dog via vinyasa if you're going there, or without the flow. All right, from your downward facing dog, ride the breath forward. On your next exhale, bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, heart forward, halfway with a flat back. Exhale as you fold into Uttanasana. Make sure your feet are together. Bending your knees, sit the hips low. Inhale, come into chair pose. Exhale, go ahead and sink deeper. Really go into that chair. Inhale, rise all the way to the top. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, let's take that again. Maybe pick up the pace a little bit. Quick breaks if you need to. Slow it down to your pace. Inhale, Surya Namaskar B with the opening into warrior two. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, heart forward, flat back. Working through the flow. Walk, step forward, hop it back. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg extends forward length. Exhale, work that foot between the hands. Spin the back foot 45. Heel to heel as you inhale up to warrior one. As you exhale, hands to heart. Adjust the front foot over. Heel to arch, torso turns, knee stays forward, warrior two. Looking forward. Take another inhale, bend your right knee deeper. On the exhale, take the hands back down. Come into a high lunge and step back to plank. Shifting forward as you exhale, moving through the flow. Once you've returned to down dog, next inhale, send your left leg back. With your exhale, step it through. Back foot 45, as your heel to heel, you rise up, warrior one first. On the exhale, hands to heart. Transition, adjust the feet, maybe adjust the stance. Open into warrior two, look forward, soften the shoulders, bend the front knee further. Inhale here. And then exhale, release the hands down. Make your way back to downward facing dog, flow or not. And then when you're ready, gaze forward between your hands. Bring those feet to the hands. On the exhale, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, folding in, feet together. Bend your knees, return to chair pose. Go low as you exhale, and then rise all the way up as you inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. And then take about 5 breaths here. Slow it down. And then release your arms by your sides. Return your feet to hips distance width. So your feet are still parallel the distance of your hips. And we're going to start moving through Surya Namaskar C. So slow at first, and then we'll have a chance to pick it up. Maybe we'll add a little something fun into the mix a little later. So rotate the palms to face forward. Standing tall into Tadasana. Press into all 4 corners of the feet. Draw the shoulder heads back and down. Feel like the fingertips are stretching toward the ground. The kneecaps are lifted so the quads are engaged. And then the belly draws back lightly. Broaden across the collarbones. Once you've worked all of these tall elements, take an inhale, stretch your arms all the way out and up, reach to the ceiling, look up. On your exhale, forward fold, take it all the way back down. On your inhale, come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat into a high lunge. So make sure that the foot steps far enough back that the front knee isn't in front of the ankle, it's right on top of it. True 90 with this front leg. Release your back right knee down, uncurl the toes, settle the top of the foot. Inhale, lift away from your front left thigh, raise your arms to the ceiling, Anjaneyasana. So here's where you're really gonna work to lift the front hip points up, pull the navel back to the spine, then keep all this work in the upper body while guiding this left knee deeply forward so that it's working a big stretch of the psoas of your back leg. Take another inhale. If you want to go further here, lift the chest. Maybe so much that you take a very mild upper back bend. So without taking it down to the lower back, lift the back ribs, and then maybe coil back a bit. On the exhale, leaning forward, release the hands to the ground. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. From here, step back to plank. Look forward, shift, take a slow chaturanga. On your inhale, return to your back bend, up dog or cobra. With your exhale, revisit down dog. Once you are there, inhale, send your right leg all the way back behind you. On the exhale, bend the knee into the chest, shift forward, step the foot up. So make sure it comes right between the hands, so you have this true 90, and then release the back knee. Uncurl the toes. As you inhale, stamp the front right foot, and then really work to lift away from the front of the thigh. So feel that hip point, especially away from the top of the leg. And then work to guide the front knee forward as the arms reach up. Try to keep as much rise in the back body as the front body, and then lengthen through the side of the waist. Keep breathing as you guide the front knee forward, raise the arms up, and then maybe you're working to coil back. Start to notice if it goes into the lower back too much. Try to lift up a little higher, and then work that area in the middle back, opening that a little more with the breath. On your exhale, lean forward, hands down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. From this high lunge, look past your mat, bend the back knee a bit on the exhale, step the right foot to the front. Once you're there, feet parallel, inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale as you fold. Arms out on the inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. So we're gonna do that again, starting with the other foot. Inhale, float the arms all the way up. Exhale as you fold into the legs. Inhale, halfway Ardha. On the exhale, bend the knees, hands down. Now step the right foot back first. So once again, nice long lunge, settle the knee. Come into a kneeling lunge, inhale, rise up. So same side we just did. Then try to work that really big lift of the upper body. Keep the strong bend of the front knee, and then maybe coil back a bit. On the exhale, take it all the way down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. Maybe you're skipping the vinyasa, maybe you're going straight to downward facing dog. I realized I told you the wrong foot to step back. It was supposed to be the left foot this time. Don't worry, we'll correct it later. On an inhale, you're going to send your left leg all the way up and back behind you. On the exhale, you're going to bring it through, step it up into a high lunge, settle the back knee. So we were supposed to start the other side. Don't worry, I will correct that as we move through this again. So take another breath in your kneeling lunge. And then as you exhale, hands down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee, look forward on the exhale. Step it all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding down again. Arms out on the inhale, rise to the top. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, take a moment standing tall. So we're going to move through both sides of that at a slightly faster pace. So like I said, skip vinyasas or slow it down if you need to. When you're ready, inhale, lift the arms with the breath, stand tall. Exhale as you forward fold. Halfway as you inhale, heart forward. On the exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the right foot back. High lunge, settle the knee, uncurl the toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Curl the back toes, lift the knee from the lunge, step to plank. Follow through with the vinyasa. Shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Then on the inhale, send that right leg all the way back. On the exhale, pull it through, step it forward, high lunge. Back knee down, uncurl the toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana on the other side. Exhale, fold forward, hands down, curl the back toes, lift the knee. On the exhale, step it all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, hard. Fold on the exhale. Arms out, inhale, come all the way up. Hands to heart on the exhale. Right to that second side. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step the left foot back. This time, settle the knee. Uncurl the toes, inhale, raise it up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, fold forward, hands down. Lift the back knee, step to plank. Shift forward. If you're taking the vinyasa, aim for a nice big open heart back bend. Exhale, flip back, down dog. Inhale, send that left leg all the way back behind you. Bring it through, step it all the way forward. Settle the back knee, uncurl the toes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. On the exhale, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise halfway. Folding on the exhale again. Arms out on the inhale, press to stand, stretch it up nice and high, and then bring your hands to your heart. All right. Keeping your feet hips distance. I'm gonna have you come into a nice forward fold here. You're gonna take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers. You can always grab a strap or a belt or a towel, or even your own shirt, if it's easier to get the arms straight. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back, soften the knees a little, and then on the exhale, hinge forward. Try to keep your back flat as long as you can. Begin to lift the hands higher from the back line. So it may be just a bit of a lean. For others, you may be folding deeper. Just noticing if it's too much strain on the hamstrings, take more of a bend in the knees. See if you can go a little further into the forward fold. Release the clasp of your hands. Bring your hands to your hips. Leading with the heart, inhale slowly with the flat back, come all the way up to stand. Release your arms down by your sides. All right, we're going to move through a variation of Surya Namaskar C again, adding a little bit of a challenge. On your inhale, sweep your arms wide, stretch tall to the ceiling. On your exhale, open back out, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, heart forward. On the exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the right foot all the way back. Take that high lunge, take the knee down, uncurling the toes. Inhale, arms to the ceiling, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, forward fold, hands down. Then from here, curl the back toes, lift the knee up, but keep the knee soft. You can always hop your right foot a little bit closer if you need to shorten the stance. On an inhale, you're gonna rise up to crescent. So you can skip crescent if it's too much. You can take another Anjaneyasana with the knee down. Take another inhale, peel the front hip plates up, keep the front knee bending. If you're able to do do so without pulling the pelvis forward. Maybe work to straighten the back leg a little bit more so that you really feel that stretch of the hip flexor. Take another breath here. If you want the challenge, consider looking up. Once again, optional. On the exhale, lean forward, take the hands down. Now from this high lunge, step back to plank. Look forward, shift, chaturanga. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, send your right leg back to a three-legged dog. On the exhale, bring it in, step it through, find a high lunge. Then once you're there, take the back knee down, uncurl the toes. Inhale, arms to the ceiling, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, return hands down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee, maybe shorten the stance a little bit. When you're ready, inhale, come up into your crescent lunge. Take it slow if the balance is tricky. Make sure your feet are hips distance. You're not that narrow stance. Make sure you're pulling the belly back. Sinking the front knee forward and extending the back leg. Maybe working to straighten it a little bit more. But once again, it's not going to get all the way straight for most of us. You're going to want to keep it soft enough that it keeps the pelvis neutral. Maybe look forward, maybe look up. Take another inhale into a crescent. With your exhale, return hands down. Now, staying in this high lunge, walk your right foot into center. Spin the back foot 45 so that your heel can arch. Keep your right knee bending forward. Extend your left arm straight out in front of you. On your inhale, press into both feet. Come all the way up to warrior two, squaring your upper body to the side. Right, so that was our transition up into our second warrior. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to have you straighten your front leg. Keeping the knee a little bit bent, just a teeny amount. Reach through the right arm as far out as you can. Take the hand either down to your shin, or feel free to use a block or another prop behind the foot. Raise your left arm to the ceiling. Bottom hand can be any height you need to not collapse the chest down. Okay, maybe look to the side. Maybe try to lift the gaze, as long as it doesn't strain the neck, up toward the top thumb. Really reach across the collarbones, stretch the arms open wide, keep weight on the back heel, and without fully locking the front right knee, work the quadriceps to draw up toward the hips. From triangle, press into the feet, inhale, come all the way up to stand. Beautiful, now look forward. Bend that front knee, parallel the feet, so all 10 toes are coming to the side. And then continue extending the arms out, take an inhale, stand a little taller, draw the inner thighs together. On the exhale, start to tip forward. And then lean a little further forward, so more weights in the heels. Try to keep the back flat. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, you're going to twist to the right, and then you're going to lower the left fingertips or hand to the ground or on a prop or other blocks. And then open even further towards the right. Maybe raise that right arm a little higher. Draw the shoulders back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Try to keep the hips a little more even. Take another inhale. Then on your exhale, twist to face the ground. Place the right hand where the left hand was. Turn to the left. Raise the left arm. And then see if you can do so without dropping the right hip. See if you can lift the inner right thigh up and keep the hips even. Let the upper body do the twist. On the exhale, turn back to face the ground. Both hands down. Bend your right knee. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Turn the right toes forward. Come into a high lunge. Look forward. On the exhale, soften the back knee and step that back foot all the way to the front of your mat. Once you're back at the top of your mat, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. On the exhale, folding back down. Arms out, inhale, come all the way up to stand again. And then exhale the hands together at the heart. All right, let's do all of that on the other side. Inhale, arms stretched to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, take it all the way down. Inhale, heart forward, halfway long spine. Bend the knees, plant the hands now. Step that left foot all the way back. Long lunge, take the knee down. Uncurl the toes, inhale. Arms raise onto the asana. On the exhale, lean forward, hands down. Curl the back toes. Lift the knee, coming into your crescent. Shorten the stance or open it as needed. Inhale, find a crescent lunge. Sinking the front knee forward, lifting the front hip points, maybe choosing to look up. On the exhale, lean forward, hands down. Step back to plank. Shift forward on the exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. On the inhale, upward facing. On the exhale, downward facing. Then with your inhale, extend your left leg all the way back, three-legged. Bend the knee, pull it through, step it all the way up. Once it's there, take the back knee down. Uncurl the toes. As you inhale, rise to your kneeling lunge. As you exhale, hands back down. Curl the back toes, lift the knees, set up for your crescent. Inhale, crescent lunge. Strong bend of the front knee, press the ball of the back foot. Maybe work to get the leg a little straighter and raise the arms a little higher. Maybe let the gaze float up as well. On the exhale, take the hands down. Now walk your front foot into center. Spin your back right foot down. 45 degrees, set up heel to arch. Sweep your right arm forward and really reach forward. Keep this front knee bent. As you inhale, open the upper body all the way over to the right side and then sink into that front knee. Stretch the arms out. Soften the shoulders. Take another inhale in Warrior Two. And then work to straighten the front leg slowly. Little softness of the front knee. And then your right hip is going to lift up a bit more and your left hip is going to push back. So that will allow the lower side of the waist to lengthen as you reach the arm out. When you can't reach any further, take the hand down. Find your shin or find props outside. Whatever height you need as you open across the chest, raising the arms all the way. And then as you find your Trikonasana triangle pose, work the legs a lot, but keep working to extend the upper body forward and stretch the arms away from one another. And then anchor the feet as you inhale, come all the way upright. Right, bend your front knee, Warrior Two, keeping the arms stretched out. Turn the toes in. Get your right foot to parallel to your left foot, so the outer edges of the feet are parallel to the mat. Beautiful, and go ahead and take your hands to your hips. All right, from here, I'm gonna have you roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows in. Then lift the kneecaps up. On your exhale, hinge at the hips. Shift more weight into the balls of the feet. Stretch the top of the head further forward. Take another inhale. Now as you exhale, fold further down. Go ahead and release the hands down. So you can have hands on hands on blocks, you can have fingertips. If your hands easily reach the ground, you're going to walk them further back. Maybe not today, maybe another day. The feet or the hands come in line, that same line as the feet. Hands are shoulder distance, and then you start to bend the elbows like Chaturanga. If you can easily reach the crown of the head to the ground, maybe you're going to come into a tripod head stance. That may not be for everyone, but I'm offering the option if that's in your practice to get a little inversion work right now. You can always take a different inversion later if you need to go upside down. If you're staying with your feet planted, hug the hips to center. If you are in tripod, slowly bring your feet back to the mat. And then take an inhale. Let the heart lift forward, maybe come onto the fingertips. Bending your left knee. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Coming into a high lunge. Plant the hands. Look forward. Soften the back knee on the exhale. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, heart forward halfway. Folding down on the exhale. Inhale, arms circle out wide, reach and stand tall once again. And then exhale, return the hands to the heart. Slow down the breath.
Today's gonna be the day that we're gonna get back to you. By now you should have settled out. I don't believe you.
All right, very nice work. So we're gonna bring things down a little bit lower. Like I said, if you are still wanting to get some inversion work in, you're welcome to bring yourself to a wall. You can do anything from legs up the wall to a headstand or a handstand if that's where you're practicing. And if you're not needing an inversion, you're just gonna come down to seated. And we're just gonna take a very mild, gentle back bend today. So before we do that, I'm gonna have us work just a little bit of strength for the upper body, strength for the core. We're going to take a modified and then possibly a full Purvottanasana. So I'm gonna have you start by sitting with your feet on the mat, knees bent. So feet are hips distance width, parallel. Your hands are going to come behind you. And then the wrist will be a bit behind the shoulders for now. And then have your fingers either pointing to the sides or angled forward. So you don't want the fingers to point behind you. That may be too much strain for the wrists. And then the hands are going to be shoulder distance, or if your shoulders are tighter, take your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance. It'll be a little more comfortable to get into this pose. So we're going to start with a reverse tabletop. So as you press into hands and feet, you're going to lift your hips up, up, up away from the ground, trying to get your thighs parallel to the ceiling. So this is a big shoulder stretch. You're working the strength of the arms. Press evenly into the feet and see if you can engage the core by trying to lift the back body higher away from the mat. Take another inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Let the hips touch down. Take a breath or two. We're going to work that reverse tabletop again. Pressing into the feet. Try to not lift any part of the feet up. Pressing the hands. Lift the hips up. Now you can just kind of gaze slightly forward. If you'd like, you can extend the crown of the head back. Just make sure you're not throwing it back. So take another breath. See if you can lift the back body further. Push into the feet, push into the hands. And then slowly lower on the exhale. Right. We're going to take that one more time. If you would like a challenge, the full version of this pose is done with the legs extended, feet together. So you're working to press into the hands and then the heels, keeping the legs straight, trying to get the toes back onto the ground once the hips lift. I'll demonstrate it. If you're not keen to try, you can do it with bent knees again. Press into the hands, straight arms, press into the heels, inhale, lift the hips up. This is working the core quite a bit more than the first one. Maybe try to get higher and get the toes to touch, really puff the chest up to the ceiling. Take another inhale. You might be shaking, I know I am. On your exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Take a moment, just come to a comfortable seat. Maybe rotate the wrists, shake it out of it. And then if you are choosing to do an inversion and skipping all of that, go ahead and come back to your mat. Like I said, we're gonna take a gentle variation of back bend today. So for this, I'm going to have you sit with your knees bent, and then you're going to have your lower legs pointing off to the left. So knees are going to be maybe about hips distance or a little wider, and then your left thigh is kind of slung under or over your bottom right foot. So bent knees, lower legs point back. And then you're going to lean back toward the right, place your right hand down. Now you can turn the fingers back for this variation. So you're gonna have the hand maybe walk a little further back than it was for the Purvottanasana variation. And then as you press into the hand, extend your left arm forward, flip the palm up. As you inhale, raise the arm to the ceiling and then lift the chest and this left side of the waist up as you go even higher. Now push into the back hand, lift the hips up so you're pressing into your right shin, step your left foot forward, and then raise that top arm and maybe reach further back. Try to lift the back body up away from the ground. So this is kind of like a flip the dog variation on one shin. Take another inhale. And then with your exhale, slowly take it all the way back down. Lower the hand, bring that foot in, and then roll to the other side. So just lift the lower legs, shift onto your left hip, bending the knees. So if you need me to kind of turn to one side so this is a little easier to see, and then place the left hand behind you. So this one, like I said, is a little further back, fingers point back. And then without slouching back here, you want to push into that hand and lift the chest up as the right arm extends. Palm flips up. And as you raise that arm, lift the chest higher and higher. Then as you root to the back hand, maybe micro bend that back elbow. And then lift the hips. Stay on your left shin, step the right foot forward. And then you choose how far you go. Maybe you stretch the arm further back. Maybe you lift the chest up and open it towards the ceiling a little bit more as you reach behind you. So you can kind of control how deep you go into this. With your exhale, slowly take it all the way back down. And then lower the hand, bring the knee in. So we're going to stay here and just take a little gentle twist. So sit up nice and tall. On the exhale, you're going to twist to the left first. Cross your right hand to the opposite knee. And then take your back hand, you can either press it into the ground or onto a prop behind you, or if you want, you can wrap it behind your back and use that to turn yourself further. And if it feels okay for the neck, turn your head to look towards the back over your back shoulder for maybe a couple of breaths. And then slowly turn just your head to look forward, and then maybe glancing over the front right shoulder in your mat. So this is a Bharadvadrasana variation. A nice open twist. Make sure the shoulders stay relaxed. Make sure you're sitting nice and tall as you do this. And then as you exhale, release and unwind. And then once again, just swap the legs. Just kind of sit back, move the legs to the other side, sit onto the other hip. And make sure you feel comfortable, you're able to sit tall so you're not leaning to the side. And then reach behind you with the back hand, sit up nice and tall, inhale, and then begin to twist over to the right as you let the left hand cross to the right knee. And then if you're choosing to just keep the back hand pressing to prop you up, great. If you want the wrap, and try to see if you can get the back of the hand to kind of wrap around that opposite side waist, and then maybe let your head turn to look behind you for a couple of breaths. Try to continue stretching the top of the head to the ceiling as you take the twist. And then keep the same from the shoulders down, turn the head slowly, looking forward and then maybe over that front left shoulder. And then exhale as you unwind. And we're going to finish with a forward fold. So you're going to extend your legs straight out in front of you. If you need something to sit upon, grab any props, blanket, towel to elevate your seat so you can sit with a nice long spine. So extend the legs straight forward, flex the feet, press the soles of the feet forward. Inhale, circle your arms all the way out and up to the ceiling, and then see if you can reach a little higher before you start to tip forward. As you exhale, just begin to lean slowly. Take your time, continue to reach away, away, away from the back body, and then when you can't reach any further out, come all the way down. Try to grab a hold of something, whether it's your toes, outside of the feet, ankles, calves, or any kind of prop to pull you forward.
So take a few slow breaths here as you fold in Paschimottanasana. And then once again, just kind of notice that back body. Maybe you're able to breathe a little more space into it now, since we've been moving around so much. And then as you inhale, slowly bring yourself up to sit. And then make your way onto your back. We're just gonna finish with a nice little gentle happy baby rocking. So if there's something else you feel your body needs before Shavasana, if you wanna take a hip stretch, maybe a thread the needle or anything else that will allow you to get that final movement or final stretch. If you're taking happy baby, go ahead and just rock a little side to side once you have a hold of those feet or ankles or even the backs of the knees. Pulling the knees apart. And then starting to feel your lower back just kind of melt into your mat. Start to feel things kind of softening and slowing down. Maybe slow that little bit of movement of the rocking down. And then when you are ready to release your feet, take a moment to decide how you want to position your legs for Shavasana. So traditional is just legs extended forward, feet a little wider than the hips so the toes can fall out, arms near the sides, palms up. If that's comfortable, take that. If you need any other support of props or anything else, positioning yourself in whatever way will allow you to relax and let go. So as you slow the body, the breath, and the mind down, give yourself these last few moments to just really let go and surrender in Shavasana. Begin to slowly reawaken yourself, wiggling toes and fingers. And then taking your time, maybe stretching your arms overhead, feet come onto the mat. And then make your way to transition from your back over to your side. And then still moving slowly when you're ready to come upright. Return to a seated posture, anything that's comfortable for you to finish class. And bring your hands together at your heart once again. As you sit up nice and tall, press the palms together, eyes closed. With your inhale, lift your heart to your hands. With your exhale, bow your head to your fingertips. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Namaste. Thanks again, yogis. Stay safe out there. Have a lovely evening, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.